Call the meeting to order. Village clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Hennessy.
Here.
Trustee LaRocca.
Here.
Trustee Geezer.
Here.
Trustee Frizzoloni.
Here.
Trustee Schwarze.
Here.
Trustee McCarthy.
Here.
Mayor Savarino.
Please rise and join us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the February 4th, 2019 special workshop meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Trustee Schwarze, seconded by Trustee Frizzoloni. Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Hennessy.
Aye.
Trustee LaRocca.
Aye.
Trustee Geezer.
Aye.
Trustee Frizzoloni.
Aye.
Trustee Schwarze.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem McCarthy.
Abstain. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the February 4th, 2019 Village Board meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Trustee LaRocca, seconded by Trustee Geezer. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Hennessy.
Aye.
Trustee LaRocca.
Aye.
Trustee Geezer.
Aye.
Trustee Frizzoloni.
Aye.
Trustee Schwarze.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem McCarthy.
Abstain. During our first, we have our listening post. I'm actually going to turn this over to Trustee Schwarze.
Thank you very much, Mayor Pro Tem McCarthy. Matt, would you mind coming out here to the microphone out there along with Jason Pauling? Back on January 12th, these two gentlemen, our village trustee, who's our deputy mayor today, Matt McCarthy, and our street supervisor from Public Works, Jason Paulings, happened to be at the right place at the right time. We had a significant structure fire that afternoon of January 12th, and Matt and Jason basically went in to the structure that was on fire and helped escort a victim out of the building. The victim didn't want to leave the building. There's no doubt their acts prevented injuries at a minimum. Here to recognize them, obviously, is the fire district. Fire Chief Bob Hoff is going to come up, and Deputy Chief Rob Schultz is going to come up and make a presentation.
I'd like to read the actions of Trustee Matt McCarthy on that day. On January 12, 2019, at approximately 12:45 hours, the Carroll Stream Fire District responded for a reported structure fire in an attached garage at 915 Cross in Carroll Stream. Upon arrival, fire companies were met with heavy fire in the attached garage of a two-story frame home. Prior to the fire department's arrival, it was reported that there was still an occupant inside of the home. One block over, Trustee Matt McCarthy saw from his home that the house was on fire. Matt rushed over to the home, where he was met by Carroll Stream Public Works Supervisor Jason Pauling. They were told by family members who were out in front that there was still someone inside of the home. Matt and Jason went around to the rear sliding glass doors and brought a resident out of the house from the kitchen area and was reunited with his family. If it were not for the selfless actions of these two men, the outcome could have been very different. Because of those actions, we present this certificate of appreciation from the Carroll Stream Fire District to Carroll Stream Village Trustee Matthew McCarthy. Thank you very much. One other thing,
Matt and Jason, do you guys want to speak?
Matt, turn the microphone.
The microphone needs to be turned on.
I think Matt said it best the night after. We were right place at the right time. We bro hugged after it, and we're just glad everyone was okay. I mean, I was amazed too because after it, I love the fire department. You guys know I love it too. The squad pulled up. I remember Tommy got on the duck gun, got a good knock on the fire, and was out quickly. But I mean, again, we were at the right place at the right time, and we wouldn't hesitate to do it again. My family's here, my wife Priscilla, my son Bobby, my daughter Olivia, my brother Joe, which most of you guys know, my stepmom, and his little guy, little Joey.
I absolutely agree with Jason, everything he said. If it came up again, there'd be no hesitation. Gotta tell you, going through CERT, going into that, actually using what you learn in CERT and keeping next to a partner and not doing anything alone, made sure everybody was safe. And knowing that somebody's in shock in a fire, you don't hesitate at some point, you just ignore them, pick them up, and take them out. So I actually picked up a lot from CERT, and it helped with this. But you guys and the police do an amazing job at an emergency scene. How organized it is and how quickly everything's in order. It was actually very impressive. So both police department and fire, you guys were awesome.
Matt, do you want to introduce your family?
My wife Linda, my son Colin, my daughter Shannon, and my son-in-law Tim here. You guys could raise.
One cliff note on that, when you pull up to a house fire and it's a fully involved garage, people keep propane in their garages, there's an automobile in there, it was fully involved. So the chance that they took to do what they did was really above and beyond. Door going into the house, the top of the door when the firefighters entered was burned off. So the house was just filling with smoke and just gonna start on fire at that time. So great job again, thank you very much.
And Matt, I just want to give a shout out. Thank you, Fire District, for being here. Our Fire District trustees are here as well. So if you guys want to raise your hand, let everyone know who you are. Thank you very much.
That was quite the honor. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on, we actually have our ComEd is here to give us a little presentation on the streetlight program incentive.
How in the world am I supposed to follow that? At least I've got some money to talk about, so that's always good. I'm not sure which way to face, so good evening. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. And I'm thinking, man, the mayor looks so different tonight. That would be why. But I'm here tonight to just make a really short presentation with regard to the streetlight program that the village participated in. So I'd like to play a short video, and I'm sure you will recognize the young lady leading it. So I'm going to go ahead and play that, and then I'll just say my few words.
ComEd's energy efficiency program, they offer a LED street lighting incentive.
The Village Carol Stream had been participating in the state-run DCEO program, and when ComEd took that over, we were eager to continue to participate.
Carol Stream had done some street lights in prior years and had seen the benefits of doing so.
We determined that when we replaced the high-pressure sodium lights, that we were getting about a 50% reduction in energy consumption, in addition to experiencing fewer outages, fewer maintenance requests, and getting overall better light quality. These lights are cleaner, they're brighter, and we're also experiencing less residential spill, so we're not getting those lights in places that we don't want them.
Some municipalities have the staff and have the availability to do the project themselves. Others don't, and so they hire out a contractor to do the work for them. It just depends on what's best for that municipality.
People are liking that it's easier to see and that we're saving on energy consumption. And we have a lot of residents that really care about the village taking a sustainable stance in areas that it makes sense.
All right, thank you, Tia, for making that video with us. We appreciate it. Great job. And as a result of the village participating in the program, I was able to deliver an incentive check for $19,642 at the end of the year, so congratulations for that. Yes. And I'll also leave with you tonight, this is a plaque that we have for you. Just represents the energy saved by making this change, the carbon footprint, if you would. So an example would be, because you made this change, it represents powering 14 homes for 1 year, removing 15 cars from the road and such. So if you want to display this somewhere, feel free to. We want to leave this for you. And then one other thing I'll mention before I go, because this is made possible through the FEJA
In
bill.
ComEd's energy efficiency program, they offer a
There we go. It's made possible because of the FEJA bill that was passed in 2016. So we talk about FEJA all the time, and we want to make sure that both residents, our businesses, our churches understand what's available. And this is one of those programs that we took over because of that. So one of the things I just wanted to mention, I left cards for each of you in front of you. This card right here. And I also left some of these in the back of the room if anyone in the audience wants to take one. This is one of the benefits of FEJA. You can get a home energy assessment. It's free to us as customers and paid for through the program. So really quickly, this is what this means, because I did this. It was really quite cool. So I have one rental, and then there's my house, and I didn't have a renter in the house at the time, so the bill was in my name. I was able to call the 800 number, get an appointment. It took about 2 weeks at that time. It's a little bit more now because we're talking about it all the time. What was great about that is the assessor came in, went through both my houses, changed out every light bulb that wasn't LED, changed out the aerators in the sink, the shower heads were changed out, and also I have an old freezer in my basement that she found. I'm still emotionally attached to that thing, but she did find it, and she was able to offer me a $50 rebate if I were willing to take it off the system. I'm not ready yet; it belongs to my mom, so it's going to be a little bit for that. But took advantage of everything else, and all of that was absolutely free, even the light bulbs on the outside of the garage. Now, there were a few things that were going to cost me a little money, so she left me a really nice report with what those things were and the corresponding rebate or discount I could get from ComEd as a result. Really, I cannot tell you, any more about this program. Just call and put your name on the list. Have the folks come out. Anything they leave there is going to be free. Sometimes they'll do the power strips, depending on what it is you need. But I just want to make sure that everyone here had a chance to know about that program, all participate. We don't win with this bill if we don't have customers taking advantage of the savings. So I want to make sure that I said that. Okay? Any questions?
So is the energy assessment, that's residential only?
No, actually, it's residential. We're doing government buildings, churches, businesses. All of our customers can take advantage of that. For the corporations, if there are, let's say if someone's going to be changing out the air conditioning system, they're already going to be doing that work. We're talking to everybody saying, call us first, and there's a whole incentive sheet for just commercial. Call us first, let us do the assessment for your building, and we have some organizations that are earning hundreds of thousands of dollars in incentives for the equipment, for putting in energy savings equipment. But the trick is we've got to be involved pretty early on. So you can't finish and say, hey, ComEd, come help me out. But this is free, and that's what's different about the assessments now. It used to be just homeowners, and it's not just homeowners too. You can do it if you're in an apartment, you own an apartment building, whatever it is, just give us a call and we'll come out and do the building for you if you're a building owner. But this time, we're doing churches. A lot of our churches are very dated and need newer equipment, newer lights, et cetera. They can also participate in the program. And I'll be speaking to the businesses in Glen Ellen tomorrow, same thing. The consortium of businesses, to let them know about the program and what's available. So at any point, if you have any questions, certainly reach out to me. And I didn't start this right. I'm Cynthia Thomas, and I support the village. I support the village, the mayor and his team for all things ComEd. So I want to make sure I put that on record if this is being recorded. So, anywho, I'm going to bring this to you. Can you make sure that the mayor gets that?
Absolutely.
All righty. And that's all I have for
Very cool.
I have a quick question. Okay, so I see that they'll come out and install some of these energy-saving devices free of charge. We need to obviously purchase, like the thermostat, the light bulbs too, correct? And
Not the light bulbs.
how about the insulator for the hot water pipes?
The insulator, there's a discount for that.
Okay.
The thermostat, there's a discount for that.
So they'll bring that stuff and you
Yes.
just,
Well, yeah, they will
Pay for it.
actually assess what
Okay.
you need. And if you need like power strips and things like that, they'll switch those out for free. What's gonna cost you money, if you have to do installation anywhere, that's gonna cost some money. But again, it's gonna be a discount or a savings for that kind of material.
thank you very much.
So next time I see you, I want you to say, I called, I put my name on the list, and I love it. Or, of course, if you need me, let me know. You all have my contact information. But thank you so much for letting me spend a few minutes of your time tonight. I appreciate it, and congratulations.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
So much.
Okay, there's no addresses from the audience. So with that, is there a motion to establish a consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee Schwarzy, seconded by trustee Frusaloni. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Hennessy.
Aye.
Trustee LaRocca.
Aye.
Trustee Giesers.
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Aye.
Trustee Schwartz.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem McCarthy.
Aye. Madam Clerk, all yours.
Thank you. Under staff reports and recommendations, number 2, vacant lots, Surrey Drive, authorization to list 2 village-owned parcels on Surrey Drive for sale.
Yes.
Yes.
Number 3, purchase of AMRs for the AMR replacement program fiscal year 20 from Midwest Meter, Inc. For delivery and payment the next fiscal year in an amount not to exceed $228,673.25 pursuant to the provisions of Section 583B and 5814C of the Carroll Stream Code of Ordinances.
And that's off by trustee LaRocca.
Number 4, alcohol concession agreement, 2019 summer concert series.
Yes.
Yes.
Under ordinances, ordinance amending Chapter 5, Article 7 of the Village of Carroll Stream Code of Ordinances, motor vehicle licenses.
Yes.
Yes.
It is ordinance 2019-2-4. Ordinance amending Chapter 6, Article 13, Sections 613.3, 613.4, and 613.7 of the Carroll Stream Code of Ordinances, fees, construction, and new development.
Yes.
Yes.
That's ordinance 2019-5-2. Ordinance amending Chapter 5, Article 8 of the Village of Carroll Stream Code of Ordinances, disposition of village property.
Yes.
Yes.
It's ordinance 2019-2-6. Ordinance approving revision to the use of village property and facilities policy.
Yes.
Yes.
That is ordinance 2019-2-7. Resolutions. Resolution authorizing execution of an intergovernmental agreement by and between the Illinois Office of the Comptroller and the Village of Carroll Stream regarding access to the Comptroller's Debt Recovery Program.
Yes.
Yes.
That is Resolution 3072. Under new business, number 1, raffle license application, Stone Elementary School PTA is requesting a raffle license and waiver of the fee for their Me and My Gal event on April 5, 2019 at Rock and Jump 485 Mission Street.
Yes.
Yes.
Under payment of bills, regular bills, February 5, 2019 through February 19, 2019.
Yes.
Number 2, addendum warrants, February 5, 2019 through February 19, 2019.
Yes.
And under report of officers, treasurer's report, revenue, expenditure statements, and balance sheet for the month ended January 31, 2019.
Received.
Received.
Is there a motion to put those items on the consent agenda? So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee Giesers, seconded by trustee Frusaloni. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Hennessy.
Aye.
Trustee LaRocca.
Aye.
Trustee Giesers.
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Aye.
Trustee Schwartz.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem McCarthy.
Aye. Is there a motion to approve these items by omnibus vote?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Frusaloni, seconded by trustee Schwarzy. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Hennessy.
Aye.
Trustee LaRocca.
Aye.
Trustee Giesers.
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Aye.
Trustee Schwarzenegger.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem McCarthy.
Aye. Okay, we have one item that was pulled off. Trustee LaRocca?
Okay, I just pulled this item off the consent agenda just for a brief explanation of authorizing $228,000 over the next fiscal year. Phil, can you briefly explain that for the public, please?
Sure. Thanks for the opportunity to talk about this. As you know, we're nearing the end of our first year of the AMR replacement program, where we're anticipating replacing over 9,000 AMRs. Again, the AMR is the communication unit attached to your water meter, which communicates to our reader that drives down the street, pulls the data on meter consumption. As the program started, we were told from our supplier that we'd be looking at about 4-week lead time on delivery. Over the last month or so, it's become apparent that they're having difficulty nationwide keeping up with the demand for their product. So we projected what we would be installing this current fiscal year through the end of April and then into next fiscal year. And so we're asking with a 9 to 12 week lead time to allow us to place the order now. We will not accept the AMRs and we will not incur the expense for the AMRs until the coming fiscal year. But we're afraid if we wait, the program would grind to a halt when we run out of meters or AMRs right around the early May time period. So asking to expend funds from next fiscal year by placing the order now with anticipation delivery in early May.
Very good. Thank you for the explanation, and I will make a motion to approve this item.
Moved by Trustee LaRocca, second by Trustee Frusaloni. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Hennessy.
Aye.
Trustee LaRocca.
Aye.
Trustee Giesers.
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Aye.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem McCarthy.
Aye. Before report of officers, we should pull off the executive session, correct?
Yes, that will be off.
We did have one executive session scheduled, but that is off the agenda and will be done at another time. Oh, how did I miss that?
Each one.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I'm sorry. Thank you very much. And now we're going over to the stormwater management plan, and that is being.
Hi, good evening. Greg Ulrich with Stormwater Administrator with the Engineering Department. So I'm going to do a brief presentation on the Stormwater Management Program Plan. To clarify, that's on pollution, right? We're not talking flooding with this plan. The presentation's three main things. One, to educate the public. Two is to solicit feedback on the plan. And the third one is just to update the board on the status of the IGA that we did with DuPage County. So as part of the education, I just want to start with a brief overview. The plan is a permanent requirement of the Federal Clean Water Act. It's officially known as the General NPDES IL-40 for discharge from small municipal separate storm sewer systems. So that mouthful basically just says that this is for the storm sewer systems, which are separate than our sanitary systems. You know, sanitary takes the plumbing from the houses, takes it to the wastewater treatment plant, it gets treated before it gets discharged. Different than the storm sewers, right? So as shown here, this is kind of a timeline that I want to show you guys. The permit works in a 5-year cycle. So that started in 2016. And we basically sent in an application, it's called a notice of intent, just saying what we're going to do as part of the plan. So then in March 9th, 2018, a couple years later, they officially accepted that application. It was kind of spurred on to get that paperwork done because they knew DuPage County was working with us, 41 other communities, to combine the application under one, with DuPage County being the lead. So a month later, we passed that resolution with the DuPage County to come under one umbrella. So then, May 24th, we were officially waived from our notice of intent. And so we're thus under DuPage County's umbrella and one permit, right? So February 5th of this year, DuPage County did their annual public hearing, and so that's technically meeting the requirement of this permit. But we just thought it was prudent to do it again here and do it locally in case anybody else wants to present. I went to the meeting. It was a stormwater management committee. There was no public input, so we'll see if anybody wants to do it today. The reporting period for this year is the end of this month, and then June 1st is when I have to get the paperwork in to say everything that we did as part of this reporting period. So one of the benefits of being within that, with working with DuPage County, is that we're going to save paperwork. Everybody used to do their own annual report and then send it in, and it'd be sent off to IPA, and it was 600-some pages, and there's a lot of it was duplication. So that this kind of point is, it's stuff that we were already doing, but we're just kind of codifying it. But it's also going to save me some time in this report later on. So looking forward to that on my end. So as part of this then, we're just going to move on to the next slide. I'm going to just do like, a brief high-level overview of what that plan is. And so, the main thing is that stormwater, when it falls on paved surfaces like the roads and the parking lots, it picks up pollutants, the dirts, oils, greases, metals, stuff like that, and it takes it directly into our streams and ponds. So this is what we're trying to address. So because of that concept, its makeup, is highly variable. Its density is highly variable. Its location is highly variable. So it's a lot harder to produce or to address than it is a factory with one pipe or a wastewater treatment plant with one pipe, right? So because of that difficulty, they basically just say, okay, here's 6 different approaches that we want you to take to kind of address it. And so I was just going to walk through those 6 different approaches, and each one we do a number of things. I'm going to touch on just a couple of them for here. So the first one is public education. So as part of that IGA, DuPage County is holding workshops. So our role is to advertise those workshops. So I'll work with Tia, and we'll send it off with an e-newsletter and some social media posts. They also provide a lot of educational material, like brochures and whatnot, so we'll link to that on our website. And then, every once in a while, we kind of send out a public service announcement based on kind of the season. So we'll do stuff like, at the end of summer, you're supposed to dechlorinate your pool before you discharge it out, so we'll send on that. In the fall with your leaves, try to keep those out of the storm drains because they add nutrients, so that's kind of some of the stuff. So the next item is public involvement, participation. One of our big ones is the village's annual pond and stream sweep, which I'm sure you guys are aware of. We're going on our 21st year of that, picking up litter. On a Saturday morning in May, it's done in the same day as the Conservation Foundation's countywide event. But we administer here in engineering. We're starting to, pick up on, volunteers and stuff, so if anybody's interested. You can start contacting engineering on that. The other public participation we like to do is the WRC open house that Public Works puts on. That's usually a pretty good event. Last couple of years, we've had DuPage County and then the Conservation Foundation and SCARS all staff the informational booths with some interactive exhibits. And I think that's been pretty good. Gotten some good reactions. So, and then we take advantage of opportunities as they arise. So this year, me and Phil went out and worked with J-Stream School to put some of those storm medallions that are on the storm drains that basically tell people they drain straight to the river and, and not to dump anything down there. The third item is illicit discharge detection and elimination. So we have a municipal code, Chapter 13, Article 5, that allows us to enforce that, non-stormwater stuff doesn't get dumped down into the drain. So DuPage County actually assists us in inspecting the outfalls now, so that's good. That'll save on some time. They do that every 3 years within our jurisdiction, so we still do stuff locally. I do some inspections, and then it's just kind of ad hoc as we get, complaints. So one example recently was, when somebody complained about an odor in an industrial parking lot. Community development and then Public Works and engineering all worked together. It turned out somebody's plumbing was tied into the roof drain, so they were flushing out into the parking lot, and that's what the odor was. So, once we figured that out, traced it down, and then we, community development followed through and made sure that the plumbing was fixed, and, so that's no longer discharging. Number 4 is construction site, stormwater runoff. This is something we have a pretty good handle on. We've been doing for, 3 decades, basically keeping sediment from construction sites from going into the storm drains. That's part of the DuPage County Stormwater Ordinance enforcement. Our engineering inspectors do that. It's pretty basic. 4th one is relatively new. It's the post-construction stormwater management for any new development and redevelopment. This is a focus on designing and constructing on-site features that are aimed at filtering out these pollutants on-site before they get off-site and into their system. So this is also done through the DuPage County Stormwater Ordinance, which we adopted. So, and then the last one is pollution prevention and good housekeeping for municipal operations. So this is basically the stuff that we do to maintain our storm sewer system and all our surfaces that, drain into the storm sewer system. So the two main things I wanted to point out is that we do monthly street sweeping with Jason and his crew, his contract. And then since chlorides are actually a major pollutant for our local waterways, the snow and ice plan that these guys put together that, puts a focus on efficient use of de-icing salt is not only good for the budget, bottom line, but it's also good for the environment. So that's a major component of the program. So that's pretty much it. That's what I want to go over. And so if there's any board comments or if there's public comments on the plan, it's now up on the web, and I'm starting to add more to it now with the new web format. It's a lot nicer, and we'll have some opportunity for people to submit comments on the web too as well.
Thank you for your hard work.
Great job.
I'm actually surprised when you brought up dechlorinating, people dechlorinating their water before they drain that's the first time I've ever heard that.
Well, all right, Tia, we'll have to send out a few more announcements.
That should go on the newsletter, because first time I ever heard it. Well, I might have read it in there. Really? Has it been in there? Nice.
We'll bold it. Bold.
Thank you very much. Great report.
Okay, all right, thank you.
All right, report of officers. Trustee Hennessy.
Just wanted to mention that this is, like at Glenbard North, this is Live Life Well Week. And we have our speaker that's coming. I wanted to look up the school, so just give me a moment. But Manny Scott's his name, the speaker. And he's actually from not from the movie, but Freedom Riders, it was like a book and then option to do a movie. He's one of the original Freedom Riders. So he's mostly a motivational speaker. He'll be speaking to the Glenbard North students tomorrow for an assembly, and then it doesn't say on the website which day or which school he's speaking to, but it is tomorrow night, 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. I think it's at South, but I'm not 100% sure. So that's just something that's going on at the school. Other than that, no report.
Thank you very much. Trustee LaRocca.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. I wanted to congratulate you and Jason on your awards, and thank you for acting fast and serving the public in that manner. Well done, and you did a well-deserved award. Thank you. Other than that, I don't have any other report other than the calendar still says winter, and Mother Nature's showing us. So,
Amen.
thank you.
Trustee Geezer.
I also want to congratulate Trustee McCarthy and Street Supervisor Jason Pauling for, what does the coin say? Do the right thing? Thank you for doing the right thing and being in the right place. One of the things we approved tonight is the alcohol concession for the summer concert series. I just wanted to ask Tia how donations for the concert series are coming in.
Donations are coming pretty well. We're more than halfway to our goal, and I expect we're going to get quite a few more over the next 2 weeks.
Okay, and if people want to donate, how do they do that?
You can go onto our website
and check out the website because the list, there's a draft poster at this point, but it has the listings of the bands that will be performing. So people will want to take a look at that. Just a couple more things, just want to mention, it's never too early to think about the July 4th parade. We have a couple fundraisers coming up. On February 26th, there'll be a fundraiser at Augustino's in Carroll Stream. All day long, all you have to do is go in and let them know you're there for the parade, and the parade committee will get a portion of the funding of your meal. And then on March 9th, that's a Saturday, all day at Red Apple Pancake House on Schmale Road. Again, all you have to do is let them know you're there for the fundraiser, and the parade committee will get 10% of your bill. And we do these because the 4th of July parade is funded completely through resident donations and through businesses and other donations. So we get no funding from the village, though we are a partner with the village, with the police protection, and then the police volunteers are also part of that. Also, the Memorial Park, the Veterans Memorial is moving along. I've mentioned a few meetings ago that we're getting very close, around $10,000 left to complete the memorial, all $200,000. There'll be another fundraiser coming up February 24th to the 27th, and that will be at John and Tony's. You will need a flyer. You can go to the Veterans Memorial Facebook page or go to the Carroll Stream Park District website, and you can download the flyer for that.
And that's actually 20% of the bill
That is a
donation,
20%,
isn't it? Yeah.
Yes. And it's not just one day, it is 4 days.
Right.
So you can go for lunch and dinner and lunch and dinner and lunch and dinner. Lunch and dinner.
Lunch. Thank you, Trustee
That is
Geezer.
my report.
Thank you, Trustee Geezer. Trustee Frisolone.
Like moving around all night tonight. You're really throwing us off. I just want to say congratulations to you and to Jason. When I heard it was the two of you involved, it did not surprise me in the least bit. One of the things that you said is, because you texted me and said, hey, I don't know if you heard, but, I saved a guy's life today, and I'm like, okay. And you said that CERT training really came in handy, then you gave me some more details, and then I was like, holy cow, well, that wasn't really what I said. You really saved a life. And then he kept saying, Jason, 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 Jason. Well, I thought it was his brother-in-law. And then it dawned on me when someone else said Jason from Public Works, and I'm like, wait, wasn't Jason, like, plowing snow because it was actively snowing? So then I put 2 and 2 together and got 4. But it didn't surprise me that it was the two of you and how you two both have downplayed the scenario and what exactly happened. And I'm very proud to call both of you my friends and know that in an emergency, you guys would not hesitate again to do exactly what you did and probably even more. So that is a great thing that you guys did. The other thing that I'd like to mention on a much more somber note, I'm actually kind of surprised that we didn't start our meeting with a moment of silence for the tragedy that happened last Friday in Aurora. I have to say that hit home a little too close to home, I think, for a lot of us. But particularly because I've been attending the Citizen Police Academy classes. Even though I've already gone through the Citizens Police Academy program, I've been coming every week just to kind of listen to the updated information. And one of the things that they were talking about last week was Sergeant Julie Johnson and Deputy Chief John Jungers were talking about use of force. And then we got on the topic of the tragedy that happened in Ferguson and, how media plays things and how, the different ways that the police investigate things. And as timely as this might be, this coming Thursday, they're actually going to be doing a presentation on active shooter training. And I've actually seen the Carroll Stream Police Department do active shooter training. Sergeant Chad Paskovitz and Officer Tom Eby do a 4-hour training. I went through their training at the Carroll Stream Park District, and while I've seen their training in bits and pieces, and I've actually done active shooter training with the police department. The training they do is phenomenal. And it's a service that they actually offer to the local businesses in Carroll Stream. And they're trying to get the word out to local businesses that if you want them to come in, they will do a risk assessment for you, and then they will do this training for your employees. And I think that it's probably very timely that, as unfortunate as this is that it happened in Aurora, this really could happen anywhere. I was very proud of the police officers that we sent from Carroll Stream. I know that there was hundreds of police officers that responded from around the state, but I know that Carroll Stream was represented because I got a text message from someone with a news clip of a person being interviewed, and right behind the woman being interviewed was a Carroll Stream police vehicle driving down the street. I also had the honor of talking to one of our officers that was there on Friday and getting his perspective of what did he see, what can't he unsee. When you have a tragedy like that, there's distinct memories that are going to stay with these officers forever. Things you're not going to be able to unsee. But the takeaway that I got from it was the amount of people that came together as a true community was just, in his words, shocking. I think the police right now, feel in a lot of ways that they're the bad guys, because you hear so many bad things in the media, but then when you see literally hundreds and hundreds of people that come together and they want to support the police in their time of need, it was very heartfelt, it was very heartwarming, and it was so touching that I know that the officers that were there, especially at the one restaurant that opened up, Luigi's, really made an impact on their lives. And I just want to give just a very heartfelt thank you to the police department in Aurora. I work very close to there and been through that town many, many times. And to hear the accounts of what their officers went through, I have absolutely no doubt that our officers would do the same thing, that they would be the ones running into danger without hesitation. They would be going in there and trying to save as many lives as possible and take it personal that they couldn't save more lives. They are a big family, and I want the town of Aurora to know that the town of Carroll Stream sends as much love and support as we possibly can. I know that everyone at times like this says that we keep them in our thoughts and prayers, but we truly do. They are a town that is going to be going through some rebuilding, and anything that the village of Carroll Stream can do to help them, we absolutely positively will. But I just wanted to say I was very proud of our police department for jumping in, helping wherever they could, and knowing that if it ever came to a similar situation, that we would get the same level of support. So with that, I will end my report.
Thank you very much, Trustee Frisoloni, and thank you for bringing it up, and I apologize for not having a moment of silence to start the meeting, because we really should have. So thank you. Trustee Shorzy.
Thank you very much, sir. Trustee Geezer mentioned that we approved the sale of beer and wine coolers at the summer concert, so I just want to give a shout out to the Rotary Club. They're the ones who take on that task, and 100% of their profits from selling at our town center concerts go to charitable causes. So if anyone's interested in joining the Rotary Club, they meet every Tuesday at lunchtime at the Holiday Inn. So thank you, Rotary Club. Congratulations again to Matt and Jason. I know firsthand the dangers you guys put yourself into. You know, the thing about structure fires is, most people think of smoke as being, gray like you see coming out of a bonfire or, fireplace or whatever. The smoke that comes out of a structure fire, it's pitch black. One breath of that smoke disorients you. A second breath of that smoke knocks you down, and that's all she wrote. So, for you guys, to put yourself in that position, because it doesn't take long for that smoke to build up. So, very nice work, and there's no doubt you deserved every accolade you guys got today. So, I wanted to point out something that I thought was pretty impressive at today's meeting, and that's Carol Stream being an environmental leader in our community. We had ComEd present us with a very nice check of over $19,000. I know Carol Stream was one of the first communities, I believe in the country, but certainly in Illinois, to receive the Earth flag for our environmental initiatives. Right over there, yes, thank you, Trustee Geiser. You know, I asked Tia last week to send me a list of some of the things we've done, because there's so many things that we do as a village, and it's everybody. It's staff, it's the elected officials. We have, oh gosh, Trustee Geiser just gave me a whole list of it. Thank you for bringing it up. And I'm not going to read it all, but maybe we post that on the website if it's not already there. It may already be there. But it's to get a check for $19,000 just for changing light bulbs. And Public Works, nice job getting all those light bulbs changed. I mean, it's a time-consuming task, but you know, it was a nice award. And plus, here's some of the things that changing those light bulbs did. It was similar to planting 86 acres of trees, you know, changing those light bulbs. 161,000 pounds of carbon dioxide was reduced in our atmosphere. It's like taking 15 cars off the road permanently. 14 homes could be powered for 1 year for nothing by just changing those light bulbs. So we should be really proud of that, and I just didn't want it to, you know, get lost in the shuffle because so much was going on today. So thank you all to staff, thank you to elected officials, and to the public for caring. So other than that, I just want to say shop in Carol Stream. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Trustee Schwarzy. Our clerk, Laura Zarnecki.
I'm just going to echo what everybody else said about your bravery and Jason's bravery, and please don't try to do that at home. As Trustee McCarthy did say, he did have some training. That training is provided and open to anybody in town or even out of town, free of charge, and it's really a program that came into play here, and anybody can learn it and be a help to their family or their friends. So congratulations to you too, and just say keep the military in your heart and mind, and that will end my report.
Thank you. Our village attorney.
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tem. I will echo my congratulations to you and to Jason. And I want to follow up on one thing that Trustee Schwarzy said about being green and being energy efficient, and that is that every single resident of Carol Stream can also join in by doing what was talked about tonight, and that is getting a home energy assessment. I went through home energy assessment through this program about 5 years ago. My son has done it. It's an absolutely amazing program. They come in and they find every single spot in your house where you're not being efficient. And they make recommendations. They have contractors that will provide work for you at a discount. And some of the things that they give for free are the LED lights, programmable thermostats, water sensing shower heads that reduce the amount of water going through, certified water faucet aerators for the bathrooms, hot water pipe insulation, and advanced power strips, which lower the amount of power and assist with surging. And then finally, also, they give discounts on things like smart thermostats, like the Nest, if you want to go to that, or one of the other brands that are out there. One of the things they found in my house is that I didn't have sufficient insulation in the attic. And so we contracted with a contractor to come in and actually blow some additional insulation in. And down in the basement where we had leaks in my son's house, they actually put in the foam. And the amount of energy efficiency, the amount that your ComEd bill is lowered, or your NIGAS or NICOR is lowered, was surprising. So I would highly recommend that everybody do that. It's very easy to sign up. The information is, the number is 855-433-2700.
You can schedule your appointment with them. They come out in a couple of weeks. And it's one of the other things that they do is they actually have meters to check and see how efficient your windows are, and to determine whether or not you have leakage in any of the windows, and how you can deal with those all the way up to replacing your windows, but doing also other things to make sure that you can get your windows tighter and that type of thing. So I would recommend it. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you very much. Our village manager, Bob.
Thank you. I just want to congratulate you and Jason. I know you're not used to it, and you feel a little consternation about getting all this praise, but you deserve it, you and Jason. Not everybody would do that. How many times have you traveled down the road and see somebody with a car fire and everybody driving by? I mean, it took some alertness and some effort. It was your day off. Jason was out plowing. He could have just kept plowing, but thank you for doing that. As spring approaches, which next month it will, we're about 30 days away, believe it or not. And what reminded me of this, engineering submitted a request to sign a purchase order for burns, controlled burns of some of our fields for the prairies and wetlands. So if residents start to see some smoke coming up out of the ground, that'll be done in March, Jim? Okay. On weather. And then the long-awaited Schmale Road and St. Charles Road water main replacement project will begin design shortly, with construction to follow in the fall. So that'll be a good project, get under our belts. Yes. And then the final thing I have is we've been getting several residents calling regarding unwanted solicitors coming to their homes and onto their properties. So if this occurs and the person does not leave after they make the request for them that they're not interested, they should dial 911 and our police will respond. And then residents can also come to the municipal center and pick up a no solicitation sticker that they can put on the front door. And that's available from the finance reception cashier or the police records office area. And that should tell people that they're not wanted. Thank you.
Even if they have a permit and you
Yes.
ask them to leave, they still have
Yes.
to leave your property.
Correct.
And nobody with a permit do we actually send out?
Correct.
We don't.
Without a permit,
We
yes.
don't send people door to door. There's no electric company that's working with the village.
Right.
We don't tell them to ask to look at your bill.
No.
So if they ask that, politely ask them to leave. If they don't, tell them you're calling 911, because I know it does really bother some residents. And there's some over-aggressive salespeople out there, and that gets under some people's skin, so thank you for bringing that up.
And every year, it seems like at the beginning of the season, we get some over-aggressive people. I don't know if they're on commission or what, but yeah, they don't get the message that they're not wanted. So.
Well, and also, just to reiterate also, when they're permitted, they're background checks. So, I mean, it's not like they're just walking in and they're just getting a piece of paper, which, by the way, does not have Joe Breinig's name on it anymore, as we showed on Facebook. So if it says Joe Breinig, it's fake. But we do background check these people, but if they are still using tactics that are not appropriate or are intimidating, you have the right to call 911, and that's what the police are there for. Because I know people have been asking, well, can the police do extra patrols? Well, we don't know what neighborhoods they're going to be in, so it's very hard if people aren't calling 911 for the police to go out and to know exactly what neighborhoods that they're specifically in at any given time. And then what happens, because I know, T, I believe you posted, if we find that they're violating the permit or the terms of their permit, then we have the right to revoke their permit. Is that correct?
That is correct, and we have pulled a particular solicitor because they were using aggressive tactics, just, I think, last week. So when we need to we pull them off. But we need those reports for us to be able to do that.
So please don't take it to Facebook, please call 911, because putting it on Facebook, while it's good information for your neighbors, it does not solve the problem. You actually need to call 911, and the police need to fill out a report. That's the only way that we can actually track this.
Correct.
Thank you.
So Jason, I did want to say something about Jason. When I met him in the cul-de-sac, Phil, you have such a great guy there. His first concern was making sure everybody was safe. You know, he got out of his truck, turned his truck off, made sure it was called in, and then he was next to me in a heartbeat, making sure everybody was safe. I mean, that's the first thing that come up, that somebody was in there. And we went in. When he came out, the first thing he wanted to do, get back in his truck and get back to checking the cul-de-sacs. He wanted to go right away. Officer Zockert would not allow us to leave, but he wanted to go and work. He didn't need to hang there or anything else, and it was just, he's a class person on top of a great worker. He's good people. So I just wanted to let you know that. So at the end of January, we started a little tiny thing we do. We jumped in with the police department for the Special Olympics, and they held a play-in bags tournament. And that went very well. They raised, I think, a little bit over $1,200 for a first time out, which I thought was great. Had a lot of fun doing it. And then last week, for the third year in a row, staff had a play-in tournament. First, I want to say thank you very much again for the support. You have a number of the committee members here tonight, myself, Mary, Laura, Paul back there, and you guys are awesome. It was a fun night, and it's really a lot of fun interacting with everybody in that kind of an environment as opposed to just a work environment. So it's worked out fantastic, and on top of that, raised over $1,350 in one night. So that was a very good night, and again, I want to say thank you to the staff. Our regular tournament started yesterday, and then it'll be again tomorrow, and next Monday and Wednesday, and then Sunday and Wednesday, and then Monday and Wednesday. 112 teams later, and a kids tournament that got tossed in. Sorry about that. We're hoping to raise over $20,000 for Relay for Life, and we'll also be making the kids tournament, which is on March 10th, and this is all at Chrissy's. That will all go to the Ronald McDonald House. We like the idea of kids helping kids, so we thought it was a great opportunity to get kids involved, let them have a little bit of fun, and help other kids. Everybody on the committee, Mary, Laura, Paul, my wife Linda, daughter Shannon, and son-in-law Tim, Sarah, Jean Mandrala, the whole Sabalaski family, Nick Porter, jumps in to do whatever's necessary. They supply raffle prizes. We've got some great raffle prizes. There every night. We're making sure everybody has fun, and it's just, I want to say thank you to the committee. It's just an absolutely awesome committee. So if you're not doing anything on Mondays and Wednesday nights for the next little over a month, stop over at Chrissy's, buy some raffle tickets, have a little bit of fun. The first 2 dates in March, we still do have a couple openings, so if anybody does want to still play bags, they can contact me. You can just go to mccarth1@aol.com, and I'll get you the information needed.
Even if somebody doesn't want to actually participate within the tournament, just coming out to Chrissy's to eat, the Sabalaski family is donating 15% of all food and drinks, alcohol or anything. So just coming to eat there is supporting us.
Absolutely. So again, I just wanted to say thanks to everybody, and I also wanted to, invite everybody out. Come check it out, see how it works. I've already got a request for another play-in tournament next year. But again, thank you, everybody. And with that, I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee Frusaloni, seconded by trustee Geezer.
Trustee Hennessy? Trustee Maravka?
Aye.
Trustee Geezer?
Aye.
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 Aye. The chamber.